See that dude right there? That's a big dude. That's been me for the last 14 or so days. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Senator Dongo, and I wanted to share with you my experience playing Warframe for the first time, honestly, since its release. Warframe is one of those games I've tried a few times when I was bored. One of those games I've seen pop up a few times on Twitch when a new content updates come out and streamers were playing it. I would try to play Warframe myself out of boredom or just out of curiosity. And it was a game I just couldn't get into. Just like a lot of people you read about when you open up the star chart or you start getting into the modding and the forging and all that. It seems way too complicated. Seems a little predatory at first with, the platinum system and the time systems. Almost kind of mobile game-ish, as some people have called it. And I was one of those people that would jump on there. I've tried it and I said, yeah, you know what? This is not for me. And I would click off of it, I would uninstall it, and I wouldn't come back to it again for a couple years, only for the cycle to repeat itself. Over the last year of my streaming career, I've been having a little bit of an identity issue. I've been having a hard time picking a game series to stick with. I've been having a hard time picking a game genre to stick with. I'm typically someone who plays MMO games on my off time from streaming or participate in leisurely gaming. I'm somebody who enjoys MMOs, World of Warcraft, WoW Classic, Guild Wars. Played a little bit of Final Fantasy 14. I have a lot of hours in Elder Scrolls Online. I really do like the MMO-ish, the gear grindy kind of thing. That's kind of been my bread and butter for as long as I can remember. Something about doing progression and doing, chasing those big numbers and chasing those big stat upgrades. That's something that's always kind of tickled my brain a little bit. Now, of course, I've dabbled into Destinies 1 and 2 for quite some time. I've got a lot of hours in both of those games. When you're involved in that community, you always hear about Warframe. There's always some type of comparison there between the two games. There's a lot of parallels or similarities in some ways and other. Yeah, this game has always been on my radar, and like I said, every time I've tried it, I couldn't really get into it. It just seemed way too complex. Coming towards the end of the year, I was really having that issue trying to figure out what game am I going to play. And so you go out searching and you go out looking for different games or different communities to possibly get involved with. While I was searching on Steam, I came across Warframe yet again. And the one thing I noticed, it was like a random Tuesday, and you go look at the community hub, which is always one of the first places I go to look when I'm looking into new games to try to get into, just to see how active it is. I saw about 76K active players on a random Tuesday night. And the one thing I started talking about was every time I go look at Warframe, every single time I go and take a look at Warframe, it's always packed with players. And PC and Steam is not the only place that it's on. So that goes and tells me that it's having well over 100K concurrent players just on a Tuesday night alone. That's an alive and well game. They have their own fucking convention. That's something that always blew my mind. Now, I know I'm kind of rambling here, and forgive me for rambling. When one of the times I was looking into Warframe years back, I came across a live stream of, I think it was a developer live stream, or maybe it was at TennoCon or something. Actually, I think it was TennoCon. They were showing off their new expansion. I call them expansions. I don't know what you guys call them, but I call them expansions. So they were showing off their newest expansion, and which I now later realize was the New War expansion, and they showed off the railjack. I didn't know it was the railjack, but when they showed off flying the railjack, and everyone lost their mind as soon as the Warframe jumped into the railjack and started flying it. It was like the crowd lost their minds. I couldn't believe it. I was watching this live and I go, why are people losing their minds over this? Every time that Digital Extreme put out a new expansion or new update for Warframe, everyone was losing their minds. Obviously, if you're somebody on the outside looking in, you're not going to understand, but I really couldn't understand the appeal to this game. I just could not get it. So as I'm doing my little research on stream and I'm thinking back and all this and I'm seeing this player count, I'm going, there's something's not clicking here with me. I can't comprehend that this game is as popular as it is. I can't comprehend that after all these years, this game has continued to have a constant player base. It's continued to have these crazy updates that people lose their minds about. It's not being botted. It's not fake. And somebody in my chat said that it's silently successful. And that characterized it so perfectly. And I thought that. I said, yeah, this game is really silently successful. Now, I wasn't just looking for a game to stream. I was also looking for a game to play off stream. So I initially was going to play Warframe off stream. I was going to have my cousin who's got, a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 hours into it or something like that, walk me through the game and help me. And to me, that would have been a pretty fast track to getting into the game. I could have like a Sherpa essentially walk me through it. And I knew that if I had somebody over my shoulder and kind of walking me through it, that, maybe I'd get into it a little bit easier and have some things explained to me. But then I had the thought, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to challenge myself on stream. I'm going to give myself 5 days. I'm going to play this game every day for 5 days. and see if I can pick it up. We can have these VODs, we can have these moments, and we can kind of start getting the gears going and seeing, you know, like reflecting on it and seeing how this pans out. This could either be a really cool thing or it could be an epic failure and we move on to the next game. Well, as you can see, it looks like I have moved into my orbiter. I've got my big fucking rhinoceros man here. I have Corvex in the kiln right now, getting ready to pop out here in 72 hours. And I gotta say, the TLDR, I know I've been ranting for a while, but the TLDR is, I'm mind blown by how awesome this game is. I am fucking floored with how insanely fun, good, like ethical this game is even. I will even go as far as say that. And I know I've been glazing this game a lot. This isn't bullshit. I could not believe some of these things, these systems that are in place, or the level of care that this studio puts into this game. And like, look at that. See, there he is down there. He just booted it up. You see that? That was him. He just booted up Warframe right now. I cannot believe the level of care that goes into this game. I cannot believe the level of quality, the level of complexity. Well, the one thing above else that I am floored by is how helpful the community is. I truly could not get to this point if it wasn't for the outpouring love and support of the Warframe community. And quite frankly, I'm not somebody who deserves it. No, I don't feel like I'm this type of this aspiring individual who's so bubbly and positive and shooting rainbows out of my ass. I go look at the Warframe Twitch, the live streamers, I'm going, man, I don't fit in around here. But it was awesome having the community, the viewers, all different types of people coming into my stream and helping me, walking me through, not getting frustrated with me, gifting me affinity boosters, gifting me some cosmetics. I couldn't believe that. I had to actually kind of make a statement, like, you know, I know you can shut off the gifting, but there are certain things I didn't mind getting, like a couple, like a Roomba. I didn't mind getting a Roomba. I got an Ember poster up in the cockpit over there, and they insisted that they would send these things, but I had to make a statement being like, you know, people were wanting to come in there and send me these Warframes. They want to send me all these different types of shit, these weapons and all types of things. Like, hey, listen, like, this is awesome. I had it's like, you guys are too supportive. Like, let me, I want to play the game. And that was one of the most important parts. I really want to play the game, and I want to go through all the different shit that people have gone through and try to solo as much of it as possible. Now I'm kind of at the point now where I'm like for Corvex, for example, I'm starting to farm some Warframe. So I did open up my games to the community to join. And yeah, I mean, even that, like, those have been super successful. I've had people joining every stream. We do little dance parties when we're logging off stream. It's awesome. It's like, I cannot believe the support this community gives to new players. Warframe is definitely one of those games that you need to be patient with, okay? There's a lot of things that are being thrown at you at first. There's a lot of things that you're seeing that doesn't make sense off rip. You know, it's like flying a plane. Okay, you get into the cockpit, you got all these different bells, buttons, and whistles, and all that stuff, and you're not gonna know what it is. So if you have someone over your shoulder and like, all right, tunnel vision. First, we're gonna work on getting the plane moving. Okay, then after that, we're gonna, you know, how do you set your brake? How do you not set your brake? You know, then we're gonna worry about, you know, getting down the runway. Then we're gonna worry about taking off, and then all that. And then, you know, you start slowly drip feeding all these different things and these different systems to you, and eventually you become a master at it. You know, the starting experience is a little bit slow, going through the different nodes, completing the junctions, doing all types of things like that. You know, that's a little slow, and that can still leave you a little confused where you're like, okay, like, you know, is this all I'm doing? I'm doing defense missions, I'm doing spy missions, I'm doing survival missions. Okay, like, what else? There's no way that this is what the whole game is built off of. And you start getting into the story content, you start getting into the different narrative arcs and the way they even break it down for you. I mean, you go to the codex and you go to your missions. I mean, they kind of got it all spelled. I got this little guy over here floating up in the upper right. You can see it's telling me that's what I should be going to go and do. Once you start noticing and realizing where everything is at, you know, you can kind of go at your own path or go at your own pace, and you start figuring it out. The coolest part for me is when you started going through a quest line and you unlock a blueprint for a Warframe, and you go, I want that. How do I get that? For me, that's where the fun begins, because again, I'm an MMO player at heart. So I like farming for things. I like farming for gear. I like farming for different drops. I like RNG. A lot of people don't. I like RNG if it makes sense. You know, once I was told I needed to go farm Jackal to get the different blueprint parts for Big Boy Rhino over here, I was so stoked. Running that over and over, waiting for the drop. For the drops for the chassis and the neuroptics and all that. That was fucking awesome. And finally getting all those and putting it all together. and having to throw them in the kiln and you got to wait a day or so for it to build. I wasn't even mad about that either. Some people would find those systems a little predatory because, you know, they kind of got that thing there that says you can spend platinum to rush it. But for me, it's all about perspective. They're not rushing me to do it. It's not like I need that Warframe to go do something else. It's not like I need to rush these things and I'm gated. That's the most important part. Nothing gates you. So there's a lot of these systems that are there, and yeah, you can spend the money. If you got the money, you can make it faster for you, but there's so much here that there's almost no point in doing it because it's more fun to grind for it. Okay, you're skipping the fun. In my opinion, you're skipping the fun. So right now I got Corvex that's in the kiln. He's not going to be done for about 71 hours now, okay? So what am I going to do? I'm going to go farm for other stuff. I'm going to go start farming for my Jade Warframe. I'm going to go start farming for Jade. I'm going to go start farming for another weapon so I can have these things that are cooking in the kiln. So by the time Corvex is done, I start having fun with him, another thing pops. And another thing is done. And I can go farm for other things. And you kind of get this snowball effect going there. And not to mention, in my opinion too, I think when you have those times when you got to wait for like for instance, for waiting for a new Warframe, that gives you a chance to take a little bit of a break. Hey, go play something else for a couple days. Hey, take a day off, okay? Because then when you come back, you're going to have this whole new thing, this whole new toy to play with essentially and level up and build and learn and stuff like that. You got to think about it from a perspective view, okay? It's not predatory if it's not blocking you from progressing. And then to get in that too, the platinum system. Now I haven't farmed for platinum or done any of the platinum activities or the things that you can do to get items to sell for platinum. But from what everyone tells me and everyone stresses this so much, you do not need to spend a dime on this game. You do not. The platinum system is super fair in terms of farming, in terms of selling items, in terms of earning it. There's people who have thousands and thousands of platinum without spending a dime. Everything is so easily attainable if you are willing to put in the work. This game is like what live service games should be in terms of the content, in terms of the monetization, in terms of how the community or how the developers interact with the community. Like everything about this game is exactly what a live service game should be. I'm telling you, go play it for yourself. Go play it, get involved with the community, ask for help, and start learning it. And you'll see real fast, you'll start seeing really quickly on why this game is as successful as it is. It's nuts. I want to play this game off stream, but I'm refraining from playing it off stream because I want to be able to enjoy the experience with everyone. But when I'm not playing on stream, I'm watching videos on it. I'm learning about different mods. I'm recapping some of the story arcs that I was involved in. I'm learning more about the different characters and the different races and stuff. I mean, like it's a fucking good ass experience. If you're somebody who's on the fence like I was and you've been putting off playing this game because it's too complex, or, you know, it doesn't seem like it's up your alley because of maybe the movements or maybe some of the different designs or something like that, I'm telling you, give it a try. I respect the opinion because I was there and I understand, but take it from somebody who is so skeptical. I didn't even like the design of the Warframes. I didn't like the movement. There's so many things I didn't like about it. But when I gave myself 5 days, let me see if I can get hooked to this game in 5 days, and I will, from there on, forever know, would this be a game that I will potentially like, or is this a game that just won't click for me? I was mind blown, okay? Even the designs, I started appreciating the designs. Once I was directed to go look at what the different Warframes are, or where the different Warframe looks and designs are, and like the different customizations, I realized that a lot of these designs I didn't like. I wasn't stuck with that. I could go look for, I usually like the big bulky, I used to play tanks in MMOs, so I like the big bulky heavy armor like type of characters, right? Which is why I'm building Corvex, which is why I'm playing Rhino. There's like so many different Warframes you can play, and not to mention they have different customizations within themselves that you don't even see off rip. You see their vanilla, their default skin, and you think that that's it, dude. It is, brother, there is so much more, okay? I cannot emphasize, there is so much more. Also, I keep forgetting to bring this part up too. The level of balance that's in this game is insane too. I have not seen anyone, I've asked the question a few times in my stream, what is considered the worst Warframe and what is considered the best Warframe? And you do not get the same answers because it doesn't exist. There's Warframes that might not perform at a higher level with less effort into, modding and stuff like that. But every Warframe can be viable if you build it a certain way. If you take the opportunity to mod a specific build for it, if you take the opportunity to mix and match weapons and all types of things, you can make any Warframe broken. I was watching YouTube short videos of people taking the less strong Warframes and making them like nuclear bombs. It's insane what you can do. Like, there's no such thing as like a weak Warframe. There's like weaker, but you like we're talking like min-maxing differences, and it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, from what I understand. I am going to be making more videos, kind of ranting and getting my thoughts in line. This is purely unscripted, and I wanted to just kind of rant about this for a little bit. I know I've had a lot of people following my TikTok channels, my Twitch channels, stuff like that. I wanted to establish a little bit more of a long form ranting video about this matter. So this is the start of it. And I do plan to make more, maybe more in line, more scripted, more breakdown, a little bit more wacky shit going on. But I wanted to kind of get my foot in the door here and just talk about, you know, we're coming towards the end of the year and we got a new content release. So, you know, I think this is a really good time to get into this game. I seriously do. I think this is a really good game to get into, and I think it's a really good time to get into this game. And I'm not a veteran by any stretch of the imagination, obviously. I only got like 90 hours into the game now, and I've probably done like maybe 5% of the total content in the game. If you're somebody like me and who was on the fence about it, I'm telling you, give it an honest to God try. Change your perspective on some of these things that have initially put you off, and try to give yourself a goal. Start off like I did, 5 days. Play every day for 5 days, couple hours, see if it clicks. If it doesn't click, that's all right. I'm telling you, there's a reason why this game is silently successful, okay? It's not fake. It's not inflated. None of it is bullshit. This shit is real, okay? I want to get every fucking Warframe. I want to get every fucking weapon. I want to max all this shit out. I want to do it all, okay? I got years of content to work through, okay? We're gonna do it all. I'm telling you, I'm determined. We're gonna do this, okay? Thank you for watching if you made it this far. I got more videos on the way I plan to make. Hit the subscribe button if you care to see any of those. Maybe like the video. That's always fun. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I got the hiccups now. That's it. I don't have a sign off. I don't.